There is a new development tonight in the search for an 18-year-old woman kidnapped from a parking lot in western Nevada nearly 2 weeks ago. According to investigators, Naomi Irion was sitting in her car in Fernley, Nevada, in a parking lot waiting to catch a shuttle for work. And that is when a man in jeans and a hoodie approaches her driver's side door and then gets into the car. Police say another driver was in that Walmart parking lot at the same time and may have gotten a look at Naomi's attacker. Correspondent Nancy Liu joining us live with this new plea tonight from investigators for the public's help. Nancy.
Marnie, police have released video of a car that pulled into the parking lot of the Fernley, Nevada Walmart just minutes before Naomi Irion was taken on the morning of March 12th. Police say the suspect walked right in front of that car. Surveillance video shows this sedan pulling into the parking lot at 5:15 on the morning of March 12th. It parks on the opposite side of the blue car in the upper right corner of your screen. The headlights remain on, and if you look closely, you can see a figure moving in the shadows. He hovers there for a minute and then walks directly in front of the car.
This person possibly had a very good view of the suspect as he was lurking around and stalking my sister in the parking lot.
18-year-old Naomi Irion was in her car, messaging friends on social media while she waited for a shuttle to her job at Panasonic in Reno.
When I saw the video of how he was going around the parking lot and walking back and forth, and then towards the end of the video, he stands and he squares up his shoulders and he's staring right at Naomi in her car, that it's like a predator stalking its prey.
The entire surveillance video hasn't been released, but the family says it shows the moment the man came up behind Naomi's car and opened her driver's side door.
And he said or did something to her that frightened her and made her move over into the passenger side seat. It was like she didn't want to do it, but she was being forced to.
The man drives out of the lot at 5:25 a.m. with Naomi in the passenger seat. Her vehicle was found 3 days later in an industrial area a mile away, empty, except for what police are calling evidence of a criminal act, but they won't say what that is. They've released a photo of the truck the suspect is believed to be driving, a 2020 or newer Chevy Silverado with distinctive chrome trim.
We have to find this vehicles so we can find Naomi.
They've said that the person in that vehicle or people in that vehicle know where my sister is.
With a diplomat father, Naomi grew up around the world, always under tight security. Now 18, she'd chosen to live with her older brother in Nevada to experience American life.
She's like, Mom, I want to learn how to drive. I want to get a car. I want to
have a job.
I want to have a job. I want to date somebody without worrying about security, things like that.
Now the entire family devastated, especially her Navy veteran brother.
He cries. He's 6'4", Navy veteran, tough guy. He cries in my arms because he's just broken. He feels responsible because he's her big brother.
Now, relatives say Naomi had recently met someone over the internet and had been on a date the night before she was abducted, but they say police have ruled out any link as well as any connection to a sexual harassment claim at her work, which they said had been resolved months earlier. Marnie?
So chilling and heartbreaking for this family. Nancy, thank you. I want to bring in former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendorfer now. She's been following this case very closely. Jennifer, I have a lot of questions for you, and I know at this point we don't know a lot, but what we do have is video of this suspect on camera getting into Naomi's cars. What stands out to you about what we have been able to see in this video and what the family describes happened?
Well, the first thing that stands out is the fact he was able to get into the car. I highly recommend that ladies, gentlemen, when you are out there in a parking lot alone, when it's dark, that you make sure your door is locked if you're inside your car doing something. As an example, when I even go get gas, if I'm by myself and it's not well lit, I actually put the gas in the gas tank, go back to my car, lock myself into my car, and get back out. It makes me vulnerable for a less amount of time. Second of all, the fact that he actually got in there is just the worst thing that could happen in this situation. And it's something that we just can't let happen. In other words, if you forget to lock your door and somebody does get in, you need to escape as soon as possible.
Right, because history shows us it doesn't end well. This was Naomi's routine, Jennifer. She was there early in the morning to catch the shuttle to her job. It was a pretty vacant, open parking lot. What are the chances that this attacker, this person, knew her routine, knew that she would be there, and was prepared for her based on what we've seen and know so far?
Well, Marnie, I think that's very possible. There are many stalkers and predators, and that's exactly the modus operandi they use. They specifically watch people's routines, and it seemed very interesting to me that this individual was in that parking lot with a hoodie on, concealing his face and walking, and actually squared off and looked at Naomi as if he was expecting her. We know from her brother that she routinely parked in that parking lot in a very similar space. I always recommend to change up your routine. Park in different places if you normally park in the same space in this situation. Instead of taking a right out of your driveway, take a left. Do a circle around the corner to make sure nobody is following you. And this way you can preclude being predictable and hopefully nobody targeting you.
The other thing I was curious about, Jennifer, is police say there was evidence of criminal activity in Naomi's car, which they found 3 days later, not too far off. They did not elaborate on what that means. But with your investigative background and experience in law enforcement, give us an idea of the type of activity they may be talking about.
Well, I would expect inside that car to look possibly very disheveled. I would expect there to be signs of a struggle and perhaps even blood.
What about this truck? How do they have an image of this truck that they're now looking for? How does that play in to her disappearance?
Well, from the details we know, he abducted her at the Walmart parking lot, and then he went to a secondary location where they abandoned that vehicle. And that was shortly after the abduction, even though they found it on the 15th. So it tells me that perhaps that's where that transfer took place, and maybe there was actual video in that industrial park where her car was abandoned.
And we're playing that truck on screen for you now if you have any information on where that truck is. Jennifer, police and the family not adding a lot of weight to the dating apps and also these allegations of harassment at work. They're saying that's been ruled out. But at this case, when it is such a mystery, can anything be ruled out?
Well, I think you have to look at what seems most probable. And in this case, it seems like this predator was in that parking lot either looking for her or looking for someone that would be easy to attack and attacked. That's what I see based on this video.
It is so troubling and eerie to watch that man. The issue tonight is the witness who was in that parking lot who may have seen him. Police do believe he can provide some critical information. Let's hope so. Jennifer Coffendorfer, as always, thank you for your insight. And if you at home had any information on the kidnapping and disappearance of Naomi Irion, you can contact the Lyons County Sheriff's Office. Also, the secret witness of Northern Nevada. Both are tip lines. They're on your screen. Help us to solve this case and bring Naomi home safely to her family. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.